Hello, YouTube family and friends. Today, we are cashing in on the promise that I made in the beginning, which is to share my own process of showing up here on YouTube and, committing myself, having committed myself, and my ongoing commitment to showing up here to share my gifts and the genius that was planted in me. And the reason I feel it's so important is just, I've said this in previous videos before, but I feel like we're at such a pivotal time on this planet where things are changing so fast, where the wisdom, the knowledge, the different viewpoints of people who actually have something to say is so much more important today than it ever has been. So also knowing how difficult, the challenges one can face and actually, mustering up the courage to actually show up. It's not even just courage, like a lot of it is genuine organizational, it feels barriers or like challenges, right? Knowing that, I know it can take longer than maybe necessary, for people to hold their very valuable viewpoints back. So with me showing up here, having this like this series like in parallel going, sharing how it is going for me, what I am encountering, the way I handle situations, I handle the challenges within myself, is my way of contributing to hopefully more people showing up that are needed, right? So yeah, we are now today finishing week 5 of showing up consistently. And today I want to share with you the exact strategies that I have been applying for myself. The strategies, it sounds so boisterous. It's really how I have been going about it, the routines that I have been applying, and what has been happening as a result of that, and then also how I'm handling the challenges that have been coming up along the way. So we will go through different things. Let's just start with the very first and most important thing that made the biggest difference for me, which is getting up at the same time every day, even on the weekends. And when I say that, guys, that also means like I have an hour leeway, okay? I usually say it's 8 in the morning. Sometimes it's 9, okay? But I try to stick to 8. I know this might sound very very unimpressive for many people, but I am a sleeper. I really like to sleep a lot. Um, and then to the way my life is set up, I'm self-employed. I have my own consulting, my own coaching practice. So I have my calls when I have my calls. I DJ on the side. That's during the night. So I don't have this intentionally so. It's literally how I have designed my life over the past years because I just noticed that it's not okay for my nervous system to know at the back in the back of my head like there's something waiting for me the suit that like the second I get up. So even my calls, I don't usually take calls after 1 p.m., for example. Like everything is starting quite late. Okay, so because of that, I usually don't have the pressure to be up very early. And I have been splurging on that over the past 2 to 3 years. And it was good for when it was good. There was a long period of simply like nervous system regulation, nervous system healing, where that was absolutely helpful, and I'm so blessed that I was able to do that. But as I got into this chapter we are in right now, where it's like, okay, it's actually time to show up to a more broader audience, and it's time to pick that work up and bring it out into the world. Um, it just required for me to take things a little bit differently. And this waking up at the same time has just been the greatest game changer. Like I literally, the first day I started out, like I started waking up at that hour was also the first day I came on here live, right? So that really came hand in hand. And there's something that happens when you wake up during the same hour, because that also means that if you are someone that likes to sleep like me, I now go to bed earlier. I struggle with that the most for the longest, but somehow something about this this routine that I have carved out for myself extends into the whole day. So, one, I have more hours available literally in the morning, but there's also something psychological that's happening, like some form of discipline that is just kicking in without me even trying too hard. As soon as the alarm clock goes off, usually I actually wake up like even before that, but as soon as the alarm clock goes off, there's no question anymore. I will get up and this is what I will do today. There's an automation that is happening to your discipline to where you don't have to make it, you don't have to think about it, ruminate, and decide, is this the day? Is this not the day? Like, no, I'm just going to get up. So, this one thing, if you're not already doing it, has been the biggest game changer for me. I get up at the same hour every day, and there's no discussion, period. There's no discussion, period. So that I would say I can this practice here of me showing up can to a large degree be traced back to the fact that I, did it like just got up at the same hour because that discipline was new to my life in that sense. So that would be one thing. Number two of like strategies or routines, like low pressure routines, is I said to myself, at least in the beginning, I'm gonna go live twice a week. And I'm not, oh my God, did I leave out a whole intro? Why even low pressure strategy to being consistent? Let me insert that here actually. The reason why I named it as, is I'm a projector in human design. If that tells you anything, the projectors are a energy type that really are here to bring more efficient ways of living and working, like as a broad thing. But projectors do not have a consistent flow of energy. They do not have a consistent vault of energy available to them. Projectors work in cycles. Okay, so we have high energy cycles where or pat like points in the cycle where we can push out a lot of work at a really high quality. So there's just like a lot of energy, so we can get something big things done in a really short amount of time, but then we're spent, right? And then we have times in the cycle where we do not have energy at all. So because we live in this productivity culture, the projectors often have this um, difficulty of honoring their own cycles because everybody else is running and everybody else has this recurring daily recurring cycle. So when they can keep up with it is great, and when they cannot, they start to doubt themselves, they start to feel guilty, they start to shame themselves, you know what I mean? So which doesn't change their energy type. So at the end of the day, it's about working when you are able to and allowing yourself the rest when you need to. And that really paints the backdrop to everything I'm telling you. So know what I'm telling you comes from a projector. Okay, so the reason why a low pressure strategy is so important for me, and I guess the ADHD Betties can relate to this as well. We're all somewhere on the spectrum, okay? I don't really believe in labels like that. At least like I don't believe in the that's like that it's a negative stamp automatically, right? We don't have to go into all of that right now, but let's just say I think a lot of the neurospicy Betties will be able to relate as well. The second I get like a to-do list, the second it's like you have to XYZ do something in my nervous system happens that is just not pleasant. I will feel restricted. I will feel like limited. I will feel just not free and not safe, right? So, this is an approach that does not work for me. Again, I have to come from a place of honoring my nervous system and my freedom and how I feel first. And then once I've done that, gladly I pour. Gladly I will pour. Gladly I will do the things that I need to do because genuinely that's what I came to do. I love doing it, right? But it has to be presented to me and my nervous system in a way that it can work with. So this low pressure strategy is so important because what we do not want to do is overwhelm ourselves, give ourselves like to-do lists that are too long and don't make any sense, or like are too rigid, and then we actually collapse and it becomes too much for us. And then the whole fun is sucked out, the whole life energy of whatever you're doing is sucked out, and that's just a place you don't want to be in the long run. You don't want your life to feel like that. You don't want your career to feel like that, right? Because it's not just a momentary thing. When we keep on doing that, that actually ends up being our life and the way we spend our lives. So I don't know why I'm talking so fast. I guess I'm excited. Um, that's why low pressure strategy to being consistent. It is a strategy or like an attempt to find a routine that works with how I feel. And me sharing this with you, I'm also inviting you guys to have this awareness, like it's not just this is what needs to get done. This is the milestone and these are the to-do lists, but it's also how am I feeling in that moment, what do I feel capable of right now, and how can I give myself the leeway, the space, and the freedom to do what I need to do, but without constricting myself. Why would I do that to myself if I do not have to, right? So that's an invitation right there. So what I did was, in that on that first day of the month where I was getting up at the same hour every day, I told myself that in the first month, I'm going to go live twice a week. And also non negotiable. That's now a non negotiable. And these non negotiables, like these decisions, I'm coming to see now are so key, because as someone who is coming from that side of, oh, how can things feel the best for my nervous system, right? I'm advocating for this. But at the same time, I'm also in a process of figuring out to which extent, like genuinely, yes, but in every situation or under any circumstance, or does it always look the same? This is also what I'm figuring out for myself, right? So, what I found is this non negotiable, making a decision and then sticking to it is so helpful, so key. It frees up so much mental clutter and energy and doubts that just at the end of the day produce a looping of just thinking, when you can use that time either to do something or to rest. But instead, you're here. So making the decision and telling yourself this is what I'm going to do and then sticking to it is so key. Even if it's once a week. For people that I'm sharing this with, see whatever you can commit to, whatever you think is making sense, do it and then commit to a little bit less than that. That's how I do it. Okay. So I started telling myself, okay, twice a week. And I don't care which days. I can go Monday, Wednesday, I can go Monday. It doesn't matter. And I'm not telling myself which days either. Because right now, at that point, it was about showing up in the first place. It's about having small expectations of myself. As long as I can tick the box that I did show up twice a week and I got up at the same hour, I did my job, right? So this is what I have been doing. And I mean, it's worked. I've been doing it. I did not like every single video or every single live that I was on, but it doesn't matter because that's not about that. What it is about is you doing it, doing what you said you were going to do. So yeah, this is how I did it. I started telling myself twice a week. And then in the second month, which we are in now, I'm going to up it to 3 times a week. So this was actually the first week of me doing this 3 times a week. Um, right. That was point number 2. 1, getting up at the same hour for me personally. 2, showing up twice a week, or on a more broad scale, on a more broader sense, making a decision. Just making a decision and then sticking to it. And making a decision that is a little bit less than what I thought I could do. Starting small, very important. The third thing that I did that was kind of low pressure strategy is, and this can be different for everybody, this is just for my case. I did not come with a script. I did not come with a script. And again, for context, I'm just sharing like parts of my life where I feel like it makes sense for the person, like to understand the whole entirety of what I'm actually saying. I am someone who, and a lot of you guys are too. I think and overthink and want to get things right and want to get things perfect. And I have so many scripts, I have so many written pieces. There's just so much written stuff all around. But then when I try to sit down and speak, I start to feel restricted. I start to feel limited. I overthink. I'm like, this is not really the angle. I don't think people will understand this. I just get too much in my head. So what I have been doing it, and my friend was like, "Oh, it's pretty ballsy for you to start out going on lives." I'm like, it could look like that. I'll take it, but at the same time, I'm not sitting here because I myself told myself to be so courageous. It's I genuinely feel like there's no other way for me. Otherwise, like I will never get this started because this whole process of sitting down and trying to, you know, work with the script and trying to make the perfect video is not going to work for me. So I chose live specifically, starting out with live specifically, because it forces me to be in the moment. Like it forces me to not overthink. The camera is running. There's no oh, maybe this wasn't good enough. I'm gonna stop now because I can, edit it out. No. I wanted intentionally to create this space where I have to speak. And this is putting me in a position where I just have to do it. And therefore I'm now experiencing myself like that for the first time also. Right. So I got rid of the scripts. Okay. And I will be genuine with you. I don't think this is the end point. I don't think this is how I will always do things. I think right now, where I do feel constricted by scripts and by knowing exactly what to say and how to say it, right now, it is the most ideal thing to do. And this is why I'm doing it. But I do think, and I can slowly already see it, that down the line, I will step into organizing my knowledge more again, right? And I think it's this precise balance that we are trying to figure out when showing up in front of the camera. It's this, on the one hand, you want to have this spontaneous, excited emotion, it comes straight from the heart. It's like you're literally having the download, you're speaking it. It's like someone is sitting right in front of you. It's like very there's a lot of life in it, right? So we want to have that, and then at the same time, if you have a body of work or like a message that you want to give out and you want to, you have this vision of helping people transform their lives in a specific way, there's also an aspect of teaching, and teaching comes with giving information in a more structured and organized way. So I think I can see myself moving in between, these worlds and these thoughts. And whereas I have spent a lot of my time in the organization and in this very structured way of thinking, it started to constrict me. And so I chose this mode of expressing myself and communicating because I can see it pulling me out of that. But yeah, it's been good for now. I really enjoy it. Genuinely. The whole human thing of not wanting to do something, and then once we push ourselves to do it, now we can't go without it. Now we love it. That thing needs to be studied because I couldn't wait to get on live today. And like, in the past days, I couldn't wait. The days I wasn't going, I was like, I can't wait. I want to get back. Right. So I think for the purpose of that, this was the best decision to tell myself to just go without a script. Um, and again, I was able to do that because I do have a very clear and structured message, right? Like I do have a body of written work that I can refer back to, and this is what I did. I would go back and then just see which words or like which concepts resonated with me that morning. In the morning, I would get into the what's resonating with me today. And then while getting ready, while doing my like while making breakfast and all of that, I will give it a chance to like to sit and linger. Also, I usually love putting makeup on and listening to YouTube. I stopped doing that because I just needed that time to not actively ponder or plan, but just give it space to sit. So I would, before all of that, I'll just look at my notes and see what resonates, and then I'll give it some time to cook, right? Sometimes I'll write a couple notes, like today, for example, if it comes to me easy. If it doesn't, then I just don't do it at all. I haven't done it at all. Again, I don't think this is the end point for me. I think we're going to evolve from here. But this is how I have been doing things so far, and it has helped me to explore the spontaneous side, the super excited. Like let's just talk, let's just share, let's just be in a fun energy. It has helped me to explore that. So that's how I've been doing it. Maybe you can pull something for yourself out of that. The next thing, oh, big one, the importance of stabilizing my energy before coming on live. This is something that I have learned and every day am mastering more and more, but it has really pierced into my consciousness how important it is for someone who is choosing to come online, choosing to share, you know, orally their work with a wider audience. And they have something to teach, and they have something to give, they have something to contribute. For people like this, and I'm one of them, I realized I had to find a not a balance. I realized I had to grow out of something. And that something was, I before going on live and even while being live, there it's scary, right? Everybody's speaking about the fear of being seen. I can only roll my eyes, not because it's not, I guess, important. I don't know. There's something about the framing that just doesn't resonate with me, that just feels icky to me. But I guess what people are talking about is this exact thing, like that I'm sharing right now. Like it's scary, it's scary to come on, right? Like it's scary to show yourself. It's scary to just even make that step into the arena, you know what I mean? And then everything is out there. So, and like before even like the physical step of coming online and like being seen, like there's a whole psychological world that is unfolding and happening in the background. There's all sorts of fears, there's all sorts of doubts, there's all sorts of, so things that we haven't figured out for ourselves. Now the possibility of being broadcasted just accentuates and just like shines a light on everything that we might not even know about ourselves. So I understand how scary it is. Like I'm right here, right? And one way it has crystallized into my awareness, like for me actually to work with, is at some point in showing up, I noticed that what I had been struggling with specifically was thinking, oh, I hope I'm good enough. Am I good enough? Being afraid that I'm not good enough, that my message is not good enough, that what I'm saying is not, like it's just not enough. It's just not good enough. It's not enough, right? And when I was in that mind state, I would come online and this would be like subconsciously still, even subconsciously, but still like my dominating system and way of looking at it. So when I was in that mind frame, then being live and speaking ended up shaping what how I was saying things, what I was saying, even how it felt, of course, but it shaped the whole quality of what I was doing in front of the camera, because I was thinking, is this good enough? So now it's about me. I'm thinking about myself. I'm worried about myself. I'm worried about if I am okay, right? So, in that moment when that happens, obviously, we are not present with the message and the audience, right? So, when that came into my awareness, I was like, "Oh, okay." You know, the other polarity of what the thing that I'm trying to achieve is actually, how can I help? How can I say it so that the person can actually work with this? How can I say it so that, it ends up enriching somebody's day? How can I say it in a way that can reach them? Like now I'm using my higher faculties, my intuition, my knowing, and like feeling into my audience and the person that I'm speaking to. And I'm using my capacities for that, because the question now is not, am I good enough? But yo, is this helping someone? Am I getting through to them based on, my own knowing and my own intuition, right? So I would say that has been a great shift and something that I have been practicing right in front before a live. So the the importance of settling my energy before I come on, right? And it shows in, like, I sit down and I will still feel, anxious or like scared before, like, like just the anxiety that you have. And when I do that, I don't come on until I haven't sat down, literally closed my eyes and just change my emotional state first, right? So yeah, the importance of stabilizing my energy before coming online has been huge. And when I tell you, instead of am I good enough, to is this message reaching my people? Am I being helpful right now? Energetically, what happens is the one is very anxious and like in your head, and the second one is just more calm, more stable, more coherent. So what I like to tell people, this whole mental thing, you have to think, go from this thinking to that thinking, doesn't always work for everybody. People can get too much in their head. And then they're like, am I now in the right mindset? Am I now in the right mindset? Am I now in the right mindset? We can simplify everything and come back to how we feel. Come back to how we feel. So this is why I say stabilizing my energy before a live. I actually don't go, am I thinking this way? Am I thinking that way? Before a live, I simply sit down. Sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 10, where I genuinely sit and I try to create a coherent and calm feeling within myself first. And then when I have that, then it's like reconnecting again with, okay, what is actually the whole purpose of this thing? We're here to help people. We're here to push things forward. We're here to connect with people. We're here to help them in their day, in their lives, right? And then from the calm state, then I start going into that. So this has been immensely helpful because not only was I feeling better, but genuinely the things that I talked about, I to me felt just better and more coherent. So yeah, oh my god, that's such a long episode. But the last point, the last point, guys, you will be so tickled. I was tickled by this. Um, you know how the content and the theme, or like the topics that I speak about on this channel, in this part of my life at least, is very clear. I'm here to help people do what they came to do. I'm here to help them see that not only is it in them, but also the path, the instructions, the way of doing it is also in them. And so instead of looking to the outside world for guidance, for orientation, my whole thing is about looking within to do that. And this is where my meditation work is coming in. This is where my self guidance, self direction is coming in, right? So, topic wise, it's pretty clear. I know why I'm doing this. I know what this is for. I can see the, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I can sense the connection. I know what is going on. And even me, with this knowledge, okay, had this moment this week where I'm like, I might actually not know the whole thing. it's actually still unfolding. So the irony here is I always tell people that there's something that is trying to come out through you, and your genius is trying to be lived out through you. And what you have to do is you have to listen to it. And it's just so funny that this is the topic of this whole channel. And at the same time, I thought I had been doing it, and now I'm seeing there are even deeper layers. There are even deeper instructions to which this applies. So I had times where I was like reviewing some of the lives that I did, and I actually started wondering. I was like, "Wait, I thought I knew, but now the question is genuinely arising, and that is, what is actually being tried to be said through me?" Right? So this I found is such a such an interesting, such an exciting way of looking at content creation. Because right now, I'm not even gonna lie, how many followers do I have? Four. I have 4 subscribers right now. The average view on my videos is like two. And it's all my friends. I think so. I think. I'm not even sure. I never checked. I don't even know if you can see it. Shout out to my soldiers. But right now, there is just not a lot happening. And I can catch myself like a little bit discouraged sometimes when I log on and I want to get on to the next live. But then, I'm quickly reminded like, yo, you want to have this space to flesh everything out. Like the thing right now is the thing right now is showing up. The thing right now is crafting the vessel, which is me, the host of my of my genius, to shape that host, to set the infrastructure in my day, to build the routine in my day that I can take then global, because I travel a lot. I move around places a lot. I live in different places a lot and for a long period of time too. So creating a routine that I can take everywhere with me. This is what this is about. And then also my ability to speak, me as a speaker, me as a teacher and organizing my knowledge, as I said before, but then also me as a speaker in the moment, being able to think and let it out freely, like beyond the content and the numbers and the audience right now. This is happening behind the stage, behind the scenes, that is absolutely necessary in order to be carrying this work for the next decade, right? So, what was I gonna say? What is actually being what is actually trying to be said through me? What is actually trying to come through? So, ironically, the thing that I always tell my clients, my people around me, of there's a genius trying to be lived out through you, this is now also being reapplied back to my own life and my own process, which is so funny to me. And yeah, I just realized that. And in moments where I could feel discouraged sometimes, like when I come on and I first see, oh, that number hasn't moved. I'm also in my first month. um it's like, nah, man, in this whole process of you showing up and speaking and doing, you are producing quantity, and it is only in quantity from which quality can emerge. It's only in quantity, with which you then can work. So right now I am producing quantity, 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 and then with quantity I can then apply this question: what is actually being tried? What is that even English, Yana? What is actually trying to be said through me? What is actually trying to come out? And I start to apply that now with a very curious um attitude. And I'm like trying to see what's up. Because I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and he was like, he has been working on a photography series, like on a book. He's been working on a book about West Africa. Let me not share too much because he'll do that when it's time. But he is working on a book, and he was like, like, I'm now 5 years, 6 years in, and it's slowly like it's time to come out. And he said, because I try to approach it as every project, every piece of work, every art has its own life. And I try to listen as much to its voice, right? So when it's being asked to be released now, and it's saying like, okay, it's I need to get out into the world, this is something that I have to honor, right? And I just love hearing that because it just confirms my worldview, right? But then to be in a position to apply this to my own work again was just so cool. So, yeah, honestly, I feel very gifted with this perspective right now to get that I get to apply this to myself as well. So, yeah, this was a very long life compared to the other ones. I hope you could pull some inspiration from this. And again, I think the routines, the things with the biggest leverage are usually the most boring things that don't look like they would do anything at all. And in my case, it was getting up earlier. For some people, it could be, going to the gym finally. And then adding, go once a week, go twice a week. Don't give yourself too much. Like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Make a commitment, like go with something that you think you can do, and then commit to a little less than that. That's the way to go. That's how I do it. And it's working for me at least. So, yeah, I'm wishing you guys a lovely weekend. If you're seeing it, do share with me your tips. Like, let's get this little community going. I love my little side project over here. Um, Learning together, building together. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.